Hey, everybody, 60-55 at the break. The Spurs lead a big second quarter for San Antonio. They outscored the Kings 38-29. And again, 24 minutes left on this two-game road trip, and it is currently 60-55, the Spurs with the lead. Napes, Rhino, and Sacktown. Hopefully, Jerry Reynolds in a moment. Your thoughts on the first half, buddy?
I don't know how you give up 60 points to a team that scores 106.3 a night. That's best for 28th in the NBA, Grant. But overall, the energy, I liked it. This is a game the Kings should absolutely win.
They should win. They're going to have a tough time winning, though, because attrition could factor into this game in the second half. The update on Malik Monk, he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks, so the Kings know they're going to be without Monk for at least a foreseeable future.
Yeah, and it's time for everybody to pitch in a little bit more.
Yep.
You saw a little more cohesion with that second unit. Still need more scoring, Grant.
Yeah, I thought the bench was okay. They did chip in with 18 points, so I'm okay with that based without Monk. It was distributed well. I think Lyles is starting to find himself a little bit. That could be a positive.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to get the looks that he thrives on. That's the corner three. And the spacing is the one thing in that first half with the second unit that I think could be a little bit better.
Yeah, and if you can get McDermott going a little bit, that will help because you're going to need him. Keon Ellis, obviously, is going to be playing a lot. So, again, it's a work in progress. We'll just see. But, let's see if they can get this game. This second half is going to be a really hard half. Again, you have last night, all the minutes, back-to-back. You saw the Spurs. They were able to score at will pretty much.
And that's the problem. They had 12 turnovers, Grant, and they still scored at will. The Kings had 18 points off those 12 turnovers, and the Kings aren't even putting that much pressure on the ball. That's where I turn this up a notch. You've already got the legs there. You get a break after tonight, finish hard in the last 24.
Boy, Victor Wembanyama is fun to watch, isn't he?
He's just so different. Yeah. He's unlike anything you've ever seen.
All right, don't forget, we will be with you right after the game. We'll take your phone calls. Listen, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but I think it's going to be hard to win this game. I'll give you my final prediction in a couple minutes, but we want your final score of this game tonight. I thought Mike Brown did a decent job in that first half, and it's not easy of not playing the guys too many minutes. Fox right now, 16, Murray 16, Sabonis 17, DeRozan 18. The problem with that, and I say problem's not the right word, but in order to win this game, you're going to probably have to play those guys 19 minutes in the second half. And again, it's a lot of minutes you're putting on these guys.
It's nothing unexpected. I think they came into that knowing this. I think actually with Sabonis, you're going to play him the minutes, but I think you can play him easier minutes. Keep him a little more on the perimeter. Wemby is not wanting to come out there, and you're kind of battling an uphill fight when you're fighting with him in the post. It's just not usually going to work out too well.
Sabonis and DeRozan in double figures, 12 for Sabonis and 11 for DeRozan. I was very impressed with how the Kings started this game. I thought their bad quarter would be the first quarter, but as it turned out, their bad quarter was the second quarter. That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, they finished the first quarter on a 11-2 run, goes to 14-2 into the second, and then the Spurs just start doing everything right, and the Kings failing, turning the ball over. But, De'Aaron Fox, Grant, it seems like there's a lot of room here still for him to operate, and DeMar still cooking for the Kings, as you've outlined.
Yeah, he is. I don't know where the Kings would be this year without DeMar DeRozan. Boy, is he good.
Different dude.
Yep, he is a different dude. Are we missing Jerry for the second game in a row at halftime?
Second game in a row. I just sent another link to him, so I've been multitasking. So we will see what's going on.
I mean, we had Jerry on the post game last night to make up for that, and I was very happy to have him on. But I'm I always worry about Jerry. The technological wizard that he is. Getting on here at halftime.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the tech, I was going to say maybe you didn't put your deodorant on today or something, and he just wasn't.
You never know.
Come around.
You never know.
Yeah.
Don't forget that Wednesday, Jerry will join us at 4:00, and then on Wednesday at 3:00, I will be discussing the NFL with Sean Salisbury. So that's all coming up this week. Plus, Reynolds got the Kings Court earlier in the afternoon. I'll be doing my shows. So very happy to be able to talk a lot about this. I'll be doing a show tomorrow at 8:00 Pacific. Ooh. So I hope you can join us tomorrow at 8:00 Pacific. Wednesday, 3:00, 4:00. Are you doing a 2:00 show on Wednesday, or are you just going to wait?
Nope. I'll wait till 4 with you and Jerry.
Okay, great. Sounds good. All right. I think we might have the one and only right here. All right.
Here he is.
Jerry Reynolds. Better late than never, Jerry. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. It's I'm going to have to get some help here on my computer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's punishing me here. I'm going to have to get somebody in here. But anyway,
Well,
yeah, that interesting half. I thought the first quarter was really well defended. With the exception of Mbanyama making threes. You're not going to think about that. But the second half got a little sloppy. Got some giveaways there. But the end of the day is they're right there. It's gonna They're going to have to kind of take care of the ball a little better, and I think they'll be fine.
is Victor Wembanyama the most unique player that you've ever seen in the NBA to this point?
Yeah, I think he might be. I mean, it's one of those things that what he does. I mean, I've never seen like that. Now, it's also true that he doesn't have much of a post game. I mean, other than just kind of being in there. It's a little bit like Ralph Sampson, although he's obviously more talented shooting the ball deep and things like that. But Ralph was, even in his prime, was more of a high post kind of player, but he luckily had Akeem Olajuwon. And so it worked pretty but there. But
that's not a bad combination with the.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say, and I think he's going to be in work in progress, but at some point it's about winning games. A true great in the league wins games. They always have. So that's probably another year he's going to have to be scrutinized even more so, I think.
And unfortunately, you didn't have that version of Ralph Sampson when you coached him.
No, bless Ralph's heart. He was a man with no legs almost, and blessed. I mean, he was just a shell of the.
I like Ralph. I really enjoyed getting to know Ralph.
Good guy.
It was a short stay in Sacramento, but I enjoyed him.
No, me too. Yeah, I admired him. I mean, he worked hard. He wanted to play.
Yes, he did.
He just didn't. He just, which I don't care. You can't get it done, and that's what I worry a little bit about Wembanyama that way. Playing out on the perimeters much, playing off the dribble. You wonder, can his legs hold up? That way.
Yep.
I hope so. I wish him the best.
Hey, Rhino, quick story. Jerry's coaching the Kings, and they're having training camp over in Hawaii. And I think I got there either after the first practice, maybe I arrived in the middle of the second practice, but I walk into the gym, and I'm not – Danny Ainge comes running up to me. And he's going, Ralph can't run. Ralph can't even run. I go, what are you talking about? He can't run. He can't run. And I look over on the sideline. He's got Juwan Oldham's over on the side with his legs in ice in a bucket. Ralph's got his knees wrapped in ice. Practice is still going on. Vinny is over there in the same. Literally, Jerry's got half the team already injured on the second day of camp. But Ainge left the court to come up to me to tell me that Ralph could not run. Bill Russell traded for Ralph without a physical. He bypassed the physical, and Ralph literally could not run.
Well, the joke on that was too, though. We always kind of tend to forget that he traded for him, obviously without a physical, and
right.
But he also traded Jim Peterson, who's in the hospital.
That's right.
So it was. And it's one of those things that people
damaged goods for damaged goods.
Yeah, it worked out about the same. It wasn't a good time. That was.
I know it's the only time since I've known Jerry, in going on almost 40 years now, that I've ever seen him in a bad mood. When it was only like two reporters from the B and me, and we're standing around Jerry, and they always try to get Jerry to make a quip. Jerry was pissed. You could see it on his face. He was not happy. He was getting ready to play the Lakers the next night, and he had a CBA lineup. And he's taking the floor with 3 CBA players against Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Coop, and I'm just like, my God.
Hey, I'm not sure it's a good CBA team. We had, because Bill didn't, I kept wondering who we're going to bring to camp, and he just brought in a bunch of guys that somebody recommended, and I don't think there's 3 or 4 of them, that never really were able to play anywhere else after he left our camp.
Yeah.
And so, and of course, the worst part of that, was Ricky Berry had passed,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
during the summer, their late
Awful.
summer. And so,
Terrible.
it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. I know. Sorry to ruin your evening, Jerry. I'll move on. All right. So it's 60-55 at the half. I'm sorry. I think the Spurs are going to pull this one out. I think they're going to win this game. I'm going to say 115-106.
I still think the Kings can get them. I think 110, 107. I'm counting on Fox and DeRozan pulling some more heroics late. I think that's the Kings' best chance, probably with some tired legs.
113, 106 Sacramento. I think the Kings end up coming out in the third quarter and turning up the defense a notch. The legs seem to be there. Go on a couple days rest after that.
2 free throws in that first half for Sacramento, only 3 for the Spurs. It was a very fast-moving half. There was very little stoppage in play.
Too much perimeter shooting, I thought, by both teams. They really did. And I understand Wembanyama takes away a lot of you're going to the basket, but I think the Kings have got to do what they do and get in the paint and for those easy shots and draw some fouls.
Jerry, where's the line there where a good shot in the paint becomes a bad shot when you got Wemby in there?
Well, I think if in fact it doesn't go in, that's the big thing. I think that you've got to be more careful about him. That's for sure. But I think what's he got? A couple of blocks maybe, or just one. So I think sometimes teams worry about it more than they should. In other words, do what you do well. And I think, with DeRozan, he looked like he could get probably what he wanted. I think Fox, only thing he'll have to do is if Wemby's in there, he'll just have to pull up a little bit further out, and really and Domas should be available for some really easy catches and put away. So
I'm picking the Spurs. I just think they're going to really miss Malik Monk in this type of a game in the half after all the minutes played last night. And for those of you that are just joining us, the news on Malik Monk, he will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So they will not have him for the foreseeable future. And, again, you really can't complain when you look at all the other players that are hurt around the West. We saw it last night with Kevin Durant. John Morant is out week to week. He'll be reevaluated. How about Chet Holmgren? He's going to be out probably 3 months. That is a big time loss for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, if even that,
I know.
Fractured,
I know.
Hip.
I don't even know how to say it either.
Yeah, fractured hip, I think. So, that may, that could be really long term. So, the league, Jimmy Butler got hurt. It's I don't know what the answer is, but boy, I've never seen the league like this, to where
I know
so many injuries occur. And of course, knock on wood here, the Kings overall have been very fortunate.
Yeah.
You just can't afford, but they can't afford, they're so thin, they can't afford to lose anybody else for sure.
The Pelicans have pretty much their entire team out. it's just incredible what we're seing. So, all right, Jerry, thank you very much for figuring out how to get online. We greatly appreciate that.
It's more complicated than the game. I'll tell you that. So anyway, we'll see you guys.
See you, Jerry.
Bye, Jerry.
He is a beauty. And, of course, we'll be with you right after the game in an hour from now. We'll see if the Kings can light that beam again. Your phone calls after the game right here on If You Don't